This book begins with a warning. Warning! Wilson describes himself as a guerrilla ontologist, signifying his intent to attack language and knowledge the way terrorists attack their targets, to jump out from the shadows for an unprovoked attack and then slink back and hide behind a hearty belly laugh. I'm gonna proceed now. Oh my god. Are you guys afraid? I'm gonna go step into Chapel Perilous with me? Woo! It's gonna be fun. Trust me, it'll be an interesting ride. Chapter 1, The Thinker and the Prover. All that we are is the result of all that we have thought. It is founded on thought. It is based on thought. Buddha. All that we are is the result of all that we have thought.
What is hardest of all? That which seems easiest of all, to see what is in front of your nose. The big change overcame when Albert Hoffman went for a bicycle ride one day in 1942, which he did not put into words until 1982. It took him 40 years. The main thing I've learned is that there is no objective reality separate from us. All there are the realities that our nervous systems construct out of the signals they receive. A change in language can transform our apprehension of the cosmos. Attempts to get you out of your reality tunnel, to show you alternative reality tunnels, and to free up your brain from the limits of your mind. Mind is a social product created by the verbalizations of your parents and siblings and other kids and teachers and newspapers and television and all sorts of things like that. And it's limited by your culture. Once you get to the level where you're outside your reality tunnel looking down at it, you can compare reality tunnels, and then you're on a higher level of intelligence already, because you're no longer a conditioned mechanism just following the reality tunnel that was accidentally imprinted or conditioned, and you can start choosing between reality tunnels.
Self-meta-programmer.
A change in language can transform our apprehension of the cosmos.
Self-meta-programmer.
Scientists can be so armored that they literally will not perceive what's in front of them. What is hardest of all? That which seems easiest of all, to see what is in front of your nose. A change in language can transform our apprehension of the cosmos.
Self-meta-programmer.
And the metaprogramming circuit precapitulates teaching everybody how to use these powers instead of just waiting for them to happen accidentally. And everybody becomes their own psychic and their own magician. A self-meta-programmer, which means a higher intelligence, to say the least of it.
Self-meta-programmer.
This is what I think I squared really means. I don't think Leary understands the full meaning of the symbol he created. I squared means intelligence looking at intelligence. That's how intelligence increases, when intelligence looks at intelligence and criticizes intelligence.
A self-meta-programmer.
And it's not just enough to say I will be objective. You've got to learn to change yourself from the inside out before you can even begin to approximate toward objectivity. How do you do that? The I squared function, learning how to change your own nervous system.
Well, we're getting close to the end of this hour, which has been illuminating and entertaining for me. I want to thank my director and producer, Vinny, and this wonderful MTV staff. And I just got word from top management that I should say something about telling you to say no. Yeah, let's say no to stupidity and say no to warfare and say no to dirty tricks. And I agree with my dear friend Nancy Reagan, but I'd like to add, just say no, thank you. Now finally, I must confess to you that I've had a secret agenda here. My mission here, as it has been in my other public appearances, is to empower you and encourage you to think for yourself and question authority. And what better way to go out on that note than to watch
Now, it means in effect that the entire population of this planet is in this room now. And if you had to imagine what would be your responsibilities for running a planet, if everybody who was alive on the planet were here now, you ask yourself, what would I do with that responsibility? The answer is nothing. And that is what's going to be done. Nothing. You're just going to wait for this thing to erode.
You can begin to encounter what seem to be separate intelligences. They may be aspects of your own brain. Israel Regardie says there are two ways of regarding them. The objective way, which is they exist apart from you, or the subjective way, they're aspects of yourself that have taken on numinous qualities and got projected outwards. And then the question is, how do you interpret this, subjectively or subjectively? After a couple of decades, I've come around to Israel Regardie's opinion, which is that it's best not to try to answer that question. Whatever answer you come up with, your next experience will contradict it. I find it very useful to think in terms of Jung's idea of the collective unconscious. What does Jung mean by the collective unconscious? It's got to be inside me if I can contact it at all, but it's inside everybody else too, right? So it's inside and outside at the same time. Self-meta-programmer.
I'm in favor of trying everything and see what works best. I think that's really the emerging paradigm, is open-mindedness rather than saying either this or that. We used to believe in this, now we won't believe any of it. We'll try the exact opposite. The universe doesn't seem to work that way. Generally, the truth turns out to be not either A or B, but something that transcends both A and B and includes them.
Now, I have pondered all my life, all my adult life, why do people spend so much time on the singular occupation of making life hard for other people? That is to say, why do people put so much energy into trying to put other people down, to find nasty things to say about them, ways to criticize them, ways to humiliate them, ways to make them feel like they're one step down? Well, according to most standard psychological theories, people do this because they feel insecure. People who feel insecure are trying to put other people down. That makes them feel a little less insecure because they put somebody even further down than they feel. Okay, that theory sort of makes sense, but then you look around and you see how much time people spend trying to put one another down, and the only conclusion you can come to is that everybody feels insecure. Human society consists of a bunch of people who basically have this program, which the great New York psychologist Albert Ellis defined way back in the 50s as, I am a no good shit. I am a no good shit. That is the basic program that most people are operating on. The second program is, if I pretend hard enough, nobody will guess I'm a no good shit. And the third program is, the way to do it is to convince everybody else that they're no good shit. The people who become most adept at this find an ideology which allows them to go around correcting everybody else all the time. Somewhat hostile society? Ask any non-white person in the whole fucking planet what they think about our society. They wouldn't say we're somewhat hostile. They'd say we tromp all over the planet murdering people. Yeah, I'd say we're hostile.
This is what I think I squared really means. I don't think Leary understands the full meaning of this, the symbol he created. I squared means intelligence looking at intelligence. That's how intelligence increases, when intelligence looks at intelligence and criticizes intelligence.
A self-meta-programmer.
The I squared function, learning how to change your own nervous system, is getting around more and more. So you're getting more and more people who demand the right to choose and demand options and choices and demand not to be given orders all the time. And so I think the authoritarian structures will find it harder and harder to govern the people of the future. They just won't know how to control the population. At the point where government breaks down, the only alternative to chaos is intelligent negotiation. Let us all study the art of negotiation. I think that's the most important art to learn for the future, because less and less will be decided by force, more and more will be decided by negotiation. We should all learn to be good negotiators.
assumption in there that they will keep something away from us. That is based on the idea that they are smarter than us. I don't accept that. I regard myself and my friends as the real power elite. I don't think anybody is smarter than us or going to get anywhere faster than us. And so I don't worry about those mighty figures who are tougher and smarter and shrewder and are going to keep everything to themselves, because I just think I happen to know the smartest scientists on the planet.
I think what will emerge will be a synergetic product that astonishes all of us.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
The ability to create a synthesis of diverse points of view, scientific and social and philosophical, is a rare gift. Not many are there who even dare to attempt such a task. The only area where I was reluctantly inclined to be at odds with Wilson was in what I considered to be his addiction to a utopia, which he eloquently enough expresses as the birth pangs of a cosmic Prometheus rising out of the long nightmare of domesticated primate history. The ways of the Creator are not our ways, Mr. Deasy said. All history moves towards one great goal, the manifestation of God. James Joyce, Ulysses.